study of the average planetary motion. Suppose if Ketu makes 19 into 5 rounds around the zodiac, there is an interesting relationship between Sun and Venus. By the time this Ketu makes 19 into 5 rounds, Venus makes 13 into 17 into 5 rounds around the Sun. You can see that even the planets are playing rummy. As we play rummy, there is an element of rummy in them. In a pack of 52 cards, if you take, there are totally, you can break it into 13 into 4. So suppose there are 3 players, player 1, player 2, player 3, and then they are shuffling the remaining 13 cards, of which one could be joker, so either 12 plus 1. 1 you can call it as the holistic view, and 12 are the 12 signs. You can move from not having to having. It's the 12 signs of the zodiac. So you can call this one, player 1 as the outer view, this one as the inner view, and this one as the collective view, and each one wants to win. Suppose if you agree that if player 1 has to win, which means you have to agree with the outer view, then the inner view and collective view will fail, which means they have lost the game. But if the collective view wins, then the outer view and inner view will lose. Or if the inner view wins, the outer view and collective view has to lose. So you can see there is the holistic view, outer view, inner view, collective view is just like a game of rummy. Even if you take the other way, just leave the one hole where mostly everyone doesn't agree, from the moving from not having to having, which is an oscillation, or everything becomes a wave. The remaining cards in a pack of 52 cards, the remaining will be 51. You can divide the 51 into 3, 17 into 3 plus 1, which means if you absorb part of the whole into yourself, even then you are getting a 17, 17, 17. Still you are not going to win, because whatever this player has, this player doesn't have, and whatever this player has, the other two doesn't have. So always there is a clash of, you can see the 17 here, 13 here. The 5 we already explained in the previous video, which is the golden ratio. If you draw a pentagon, you can get a golden ratio of everything, and we will understand more about this golden ratio a bit later. So what we are telling is the element of the rummy in the choice. So what is nothing and what is nothing on this side are not the same. If you take this whole game, somebody who is standing in between all these things, actually he is in nothing, because everything is outside. The so-called the inner view, outer view, collective view, holistic view, they are all outside to this, the so-called, you can call this man as the sun. But the actual nothing on this side is more like the players or the seed. So just like you have a choice to be born as a man or woman, born as a human being or some other species. If you have taken one card, it means that the others are not going to have the same card, and also it means that you are not going to have the card of what another person is having. So it's a game, it's a perfect game where you lose by winning or having, and win by not having. Where if you lose your individualistic inner views or outer views, you can come to a holistic view or not having any views about all these different views. and you can be a free person, but the cost is you have to lose all your existing, put your cards down and let others have it, so that you can be free, and whoever is still having it, it's still not the winner. So it's like saying that as long as you continue to be in the game, you are not the winner, and only when you lose, you are actually truly moving towards the victory. Now we will try to understand the actual hourglass numbers which we explained yesterday, and where they are present further. So to recap, hourglass will be a shape of like this one. So there will be 1, 2 on either side, which is 5, and then 3 on either side, which is 11. So 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6, 11. And then if you can keep 4 on this side and then 4 on this side, it becomes a 19 totally. Similarly, there are other hourglass numbers present between the karma or the purpose, and or the dharma or the duty. Dharma is more connected, or the life, Jupiter is connected more with how you relate yourself with the other perspectives. Karma is more related to what you are supposed to do by playing this game. So there you can see 89, if you see 89 is nothing but 9 squared plus 9 minus 1, or 10 squared minus 10 minus 1. You can see both these are parabolic equations, n squared plus n minus 1 or n squared minus n minus 1. Similarly, you can see another between karma or the duty or Ketu or Rahu, the gathering and the scattering. You can see another hourglass number 155, which is nothing but 31 into 5. All we are trying to say is by the time Ketu makes 19 into 5 rounds around the zodiac, Saturn is making 31 into 5 rounds around the zodiac. Or at the same time, Jupiter is making 89 rounds around the zodiac. So here 155 you can think it as 12 squared plus 12 minus 1, or 13 squared minus 13 minus 1. Now this golden ratio, if you multiply divide any of the next number, the golden ratio, how you can understand is, when you, at what value of n will the hourglass disappear. So here you are seeing a hourglass. Suppose I am calling, this is an empty space where there is, this shape becomes smaller, becomes further smaller, and then it's a dot, and then it's not even there. Even when the hourglass is not there, you can say that it is still there. So the time where you are defying time, but still the element of frozen time is still there. That particular value of n you can get. For this equation, you get two golden ratios. If you substitute n by 0.618 or minus 1.618, you will get it as 0. And in this equation, if you substitute 1.618 or minus 0.618, you will again get 0. Here, this is the curve for this n squared plus n minus 1, you can see. And this is the curve for n squared minus n minus 1, and this is the x-axis, and this is the actual value of the n squared minus n minus 1, which is y-axis. As you can see, at 0.618 the value it tends to 0, the y is 0, and similarly for this equation at 1.618 this is 0. Similarly here the same equation, here it's 1.618 and here it is minus 0.618. Here is 0.618, this is minus 1.618. So you can get two golden ratios and two golden ratios. At any moment you can see there is a gap of 1. Here this is minus 0.5, minus 1.5, 0.5, 1.5. So you have to go to the next number to, at the same value here, whatever value you get here for this one, you will get the same thing plus 1 for the next number. And again you can see that these equations curves meet only at minus 1, which is the darkness. Yesterday I explained the oscillation between darkness and light. So only in darkness these two curves can meet, and again they become minimum at 0.5, which is 1 by 2, which is the state of Akasha. You can see the minimum value is nothing but minus 5 by 4. Again all these numbers 5, 4, you would have understood from the earlier videos I explained. These are all eternal numbers. There is yet another interesting relationship between Saturn, Jupiter and Mars. We again go with the same round in 19 into 5 rounds of the Ketu around zodiac. Jupiter makes 89 rounds around Saturn. At the same time, Mars makes 55 into 16 or 880 rounds around Saturn. You can see that, to understand, suppose you have a outer limit and inner limit, and then what is in between. So the area between the middle line and the outer limit you can call by Mars or the expansion, or the area between the lower limit and the middle line you can call by the Jupiter, or what is outside, everything that is outside, or nothing is outside, which means everything is inside. There are two competing views, and they are actually connected to the golden ratio. You can see 89 by 55 is, we saw it's a golden ratio 1.618. Now there is also a triangular relationship. Suppose if you have at the base which is 4 and the altitude which is pi, you get pi into, the hypotenuse will be pi into golden ratio, or the pi by 1.618, 0.618. Whether if you go by this equation or this equation, n squared plus n minus 1 equation will have this 0.618 as golden ratio. N squared minus n minus 1 will have 1.618. So you can pick either one. So where is this 4? So there is always a war between the central view or the boundary view. So the logical way is to break this thing into 4, and you can get a square with 4 logical points, and you can inscribe a circle in it. So the circle is connected with pi, but the square is connected with 4. So the 4 and the pi are connected to golden ratio. So what will happen is, if you divide this Saturn Jupiter by Saturn Mars, which is 89, by 880, which is 55 into 16, the 89 by 55 will become the golden ratio, and this will remain 16. And if you connect it to this equation 4 pi psi, you will end up with 1 by pi squared. So for every round of the Saturn around Jupiter, you can expect pi squared rounds of the Mars around Saturn. Or to think it this way, pi squared is nothing but, there are two things, gathering and scattering, or light and darkness, and they are going around the circle, and they can be anywhere. So each can be anywhere on the circle, which is the pi. So how you say, if you have 3 squared, there are two things each with 3 degrees of 3 possibilities, or 2 cube, which is 3 things with 2 possibilities each. So here it is pi square, which is 2 things with 5 possibilities, or it can be anywhere on the circle. So with this we will end up the study of average planetary motion. Thank you.